Hello, everyone, and welcome. And a special hello to Jenny, who's on waiting for me. Um, Jenny, I'm curious actually, because you were on before I clicked go live, and I'm just curious, do you see me prepping? Or I'm just curious what you see. So let me know. Again, just totally curious. But hello, and I'm glad you're joining live. Um, StreamYard, which is the software I use, has changed all their screens. So I'm looking at all this stuff and I don't know what I'm doing. But we'll make it work. And I know I'm working. Yep. And Mary's here. And okay, and Jenny's here. Perfect. Um, so the, the card I was planning, I was so excited. I had planned it like 2 weeks ago to do was to use the awesome uh, uh, sunflower embossing folder. And it is not available at the moment, and it won't be available till like the first week of August. So I didn't want to show something that you can't buy, especially with the free shipping sale that starts tomorrow. Um, and I just realized I don't think I introduced myself. So anyone who is new, welcome. I'm Christine Jousty of Mail Something Pretty, and I'm the Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And I come live every Tuesday at this time, and or just about every Tuesday. And we do like little live class. Kim, you are not late. You are not late. You are perfect. Yeah, I forgot to introduce myself, so that's what I wanted to do. So I had just mentioned free shipping. Stampin' Up! Has just let us know that they're doing a free shipping offer, which is awesome. Starting tomorrow. So tomorrow is, I'll mix up on my days. Tomorrow is Wednesday, July 22nd, and it runs 3 days. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Orders have to be over $75 to get that free shipping. But I think it's well worth it because shipping's just about $8. Anyway, so it saves you $8. And you also get Stampin' Rewards on your order. So that's something new they started in April. To me, it still seems new, where you get 10% of any order over $20, you get 10%. So if you did the free shipping offer, say you ordered $75, you save on the $8 or $7.95 shipping, and you would get $7.50 in rewards to use later. So it's kind of a cool deal going on. All right, let me put. Let's see. Let's do this. Okay, so this is one of the well, the style of the card anyways. I'm going to make a different version because I like to show you different styles or different patterns or options. But this is style anyways of the scrap that we're going to use. I had seen, and I actually saved it. It was a card. Jackie Williams had done this, and she did it with a zinnia paper. So it was actually a little bit ago, but I saved it because I liked how she did that little chevron. And she just had a nice punch out of a flower, which I don't really have like solid flowers anymore. Um, so anyway, so I use the celebratory sips for this fun. Hi, Tracy. And Tracy says she loves this bundle. I do too. It's awesome. And I don't even know. Even put the there you go. You can see the texture. That's one of the dyes that you can even just do that. So it's kind of fun. So we're gonna make one from scratch and one that's partly done. And the other thing I wanted to show you, speaking of this awesome bundle, Lois had sent me this card. And I just like to show different versions of things. And I actually stamped the raspberry here. And then she just cut out with scissors all the fun little ingredients for different drinks. So it's kind of, put it down this way. It's kind of fun. So I do like to show cards. And I meant to bring that hot dog one. I did post it on my site. So be sure to look at it. Nancy sent me, she's been sending me all sorts of cards for national holidays. And today is National Hot Dog Day. Oh, Tracy doesn't have the dies. Shoot. Okay, well, I'm pretty sure they're available now, or you just cut out the paper, like, and you could just transfer it here too, because these were just gonna cut with a trimmer. Uh, work. You know what you're doing. You could convert this style into anything else. Um, okay, so let me put that aside. And I'm going to use the new hair paper. So some of I've used, so we can use some of the scraps, but some of it we're actually going to cut large pieces into our scraps because I only have done some of it. Oh, you mean the embossing folder? Gotcha. This piece comes with the dies. I didn't bring them up. Look at your dies, Tracy, and there's like a big rectangle piece, and that makes the texture. That's part of the dies. All right, so I've only used it once for this, and I'm going to show you. When Ann and I did our live for the Christmas in July, which was kind of funny because now that was it Christmas stuff to make, and so I put my thinking cap on, and I just think that these colors are so rich and beautiful and kind of luxurious, and so I kind of thought Christmas. So I had made these tags, and then I thought I should have made cards too. So these are the same card, just rotating the pattern. And so I turn those into Christmas. So we'll be using this a lot more, but we're going to use it for this card today. But I just wanted to show you some samples. So this paper, it's just like, this is my favorite. It's just beautiful paper. And I was just thinking, we're not a wallpaper house, but can you imagine like walking into like a fancy bathroom with like wallpaper like that? I just think it would be beautiful. So those are the two sides. This piece I'm going to show you cut out, but you get the pairs. Um, we're gonna use that side. And this is, I mean, this totally could be Christmas, but it's just nice, rich of the this too. Like I think this pattern to me reminds me, I don't know why, of I always say it, the Christmas song, the 12 weeks of Christmas. Yeah, Partridge in a Pear Tree. For some reason, this pattern reminds me of that, and that's why I thought of using this paper for um this cards. All right, I think I showed you all those patterns that going through, and this also would make beautiful wallpaper. This reminds me of like the Paper Source. If you've ever seen that company's papers, I think because of that pink. And that's really pretty. And I think there's one more pattern I didn't show you. This piece. So I know that this would be a great layout just for scrapbooking, just plop a picture down. But I've seen it cut into fours, and then you can use, and I'll do that. And then you could just use, so you could make 4 for 4, 12, yeah, 12 cards out of one piece of paper. Because you can just rotate the paper around. So it's just gorgeous, gorgeous paper. And comes with, if you get the whole bundle, which happens, you do it tomorrow on your free shipping day. This is the stamp set. There's pairs and some kind of elegant script. But the dies are kind of cool. So you get the dies for the all the stamps, but you get extras. You get this little hash mark and some flowers and some other dies I have set aside because I'm going to use them. All right, let's get to it. Let's see. So the first thing we need for this strip card are strips, right? So I made mine 1/2 inches. So this is still like a scrap. And so I'm just going to cut this, even though it's kind of big. I'm going to cut 4. I could probably do with, I think safely to have 4 strips for each pattern. I must have some glue on here that's sticking, but that's all right because we're gonna add more glue to it, so I'll clean it after. And then this one, it's the same paper. Well, you know what? I'll just cut in this direction. All right, so I could have just cut all in the same, like having the pattern face the same way, but sometimes you do get like the edges when you cut, depending on how sharp or dull your blade is. So I am cutting in the direction that I am. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm cutting in the direction that I will use them because they'll just be a little smoother. All right, so here's, you see my patterns. Nope, you can't see the mirror either. Okay. So I'm just going to do 4 different patterns. You can do, depending on the size of your card, you can do 3. This one, not not every color was repeated. So the orange was repeated, the pattern, the drink pattern was repeated, the polka dot was repeated, but this one wasn't. So if you did 3, you would certainly get repeats of each. So you could just do one of each color, a whole bunch of them, like a rainbow. You could do whatever you'd like. I'm going to, since I've already cut this piece a little bit, I'm just going to turn this over. Try to conserve it what I can. I'll cut my strips this way. And then sometimes like we end up with 1/2 inch strips or like wide strips. So this one like haven't used too much of it. So that's why my paper is a little bit bigger. But I will be using it. And the other one. Yeah, I haven't even used this piece, but I thought that this would be nice. So I'm going to cut 1/2 inch strip. And what I'm going to do is then cut this at 4 inches because that should be plenty. So that's one way of doing it. And then I'll cut one more because I'm not sure if we need it or not. And then that should be, I'll just cut one. Let's save that. Okay, so that should be all we need for the cutter. For now, anyways. All right, so here are my patterns. So definitely a lot of greens. It probably looks green. I don't know if it looks green to you or not. To me, it looks a little green, but it's the Darling Duckling. So depending on what you pair it with, it can be more yellow or it could be more green. So it's an interesting color. And then I'll try and decide like which colors do I want touching. So that probably works because then this will touch that one. So I'll probably go in that order. Okay. The next thing that's really important is your silicone mat or something to you're probably going to have some glue that will be touching the backside of your paper. And so that's what's really handy about this. The next thing, I was just looking for it, is this is just a 4 by 5 1/4. We will trim this down, but I think you get a crisper edge by using something bigger than what you need. So we're just going to start with that size. And you can vary your size. Like you don't have to do the exact dimensions I did. You could have this be a little bit smaller or bigger. Okay. And then glue. This was empty. I brought up another one. Okay. So then you just decide like which one do you want to start with? So I started this one with the orange. So I might as well just start. We'll just start. And you don't have to use the base as white. I just happen to. Um, I actually think we're gonna put this on a beige base, but actually to layer this on beige, I think would be really pretty too. But I just had the white ready, so that's what we're gonna use. And then the first one, I'm just gonna put some glue on the back. I didn't do the whole thing because I don't really need the whole thing. And you're gonna guess, like my chevron here, I didn't want it right in the middle. I wanted it off to the side a little bit. So, and then you can just kind of play with the angle of what you want. So I'm just gonna put that down there. So I know there's extra glue under there. And then, does this have direction? I'm not gonna worry about it. And then this one is, oh, see, no, I'm stuck here because I just brought one piece up. I should have actually had it at a wider angle. Oh, well, that's what we're gonna do. So now we're gonna have a bigger space here. Does that make it? Good thing I had a longer one. Look at, because that's not making it. So anyways, so you can kind of depend on, do you want a steep V or a wide V? I mean, we're just using scrap, so I'm not too worried about. So this angle will be a little bit, it's going to go like that way, a little bit different. Okay, so the next thing what we're going to do is now we can put the glue directly on the paper. Hey, Debbie, you snuck in there. Thanks for saying hello. So you could put the glue in the strip, but actually I think it's a little bit easier now. I can just put it right there on the paper. And then I can just put this right on top. So really it's just these ones that are just going to have a little bit of glue on the overhang. Put some glue here. And then, does it matter? Just see. There's a little grid on this pattern. It doesn't really matter. So I actually, on all the ones I did, I went this way and then like I butted and I built mine the same way, but you can off kilter it. So if I have one long this way and here, I could have made this go along and here, and that would actually probably be more of a chevron. And I meant to do that. I just forgot. So you can kind of more weave them. But right now, we're just going to go with what I started. And like this part is just kind of mindless. I'm just kind of like stacking bricks. And depending on how many patterns you use, you can repeat in different ways. Why is that not straight? There we go. Yeah, you can play with it. Oh, that's not cut straight. That's why. I was thinking, I'm so used to having like 90-degree angles. This piece didn't have that. And so now I'm just going to repeat my pattern. And it looks good. It looks still a little messy, but once we do our trimming, it's really going to come together nice. All right. Kim says, as I'm doing this, she loves making cards of scraps. Awesome. I hate throwing away scraps, so it makes me feel better when we can create something beautiful with them. Thanks for the new arrangement. Oh, you're very welcome. I agree. I don't like to throw away scraps either. And Jenny says, is it best to stay in the same suite or have you mix and match? I'm going to show you. Actually, it doesn't matter. I have another one to show you that I mix and matched. Because Stampin' Up, all their colors kind of coordinate. So different suites or different packages might have the same color paper so that you know, like, so this is Mossy Meadow and Old Olive. So I could go to another pack that has Old Olive and introduce it, and you know that those two greens would be the same. So you definitely don't have to use the same. And I'll show you in just a minute. Good question, Jenny. All right, so we're getting here to the end. And then, oh, it looks like I'm gonna have just a little bit of, everyone's gonna have a little bit, and this, I just put like a little dot there. So this one actually is gonna use all patterns. Oh, remember, that was not the straight edge. Put that in there. Okay. So now we're just gonna let that dry a minute. So let me show you another one I have started, and then we'll cut that after. We're kind of gonna be piecing together two cards. So this one will be a little more elegant. This one's a little whimsical. This one's definitely whimsical. And this is the one, Jenny, that I mix and matched. So here we go. So actually I think I used four different packs. So this was from the toadstools. This was left over from this card. This I added some little Can you see it? A little glimmer. And then this is from that turtle paper. So I did mix and match. So what we're gonna do to trim it is because I knew like this is bigger than I wanted it. So I'm gonna turn it this way because actually I'm gonna do it this way first. It gives me, I know I have a straight edge versus trying to figure out with a straight edge this way. I'm gonna put this right up here. And this right now is 4 inches, and I want it to be 3 3/4 when I get to the end. So I'm going to take 1/8 of an inch off on this side and 1/8 of an inch off on this side, and that will get me to that 3 3/4 that I want. I'm actually I usually cut from the bottom up, but I don't know about these strips. So this time I'm going to cut from the top down. So these are all going to come off. And then now I'm going to just cut I'm going to leave this edge fine. So I'm just going to take 1/4 inch off on this side. So it's going to be a total of 5 inches. Go to the top and go down. And this is where I'm going to take that extra 1/8 inch off. And that will give me that total of 3 3/4 width. This one I can do the bottom now because I'm starting with a solid. And then this is fine. This is much cleaner now. Much better than all that. So some of these scraps, like I took some of the leftovers from this orange one, and that's what I used on here. So you can make multiple cards. Like, sometimes you only need a little piece, so that could be reused. Like that one could be reused, some of them not, but that's how I cut it. We'll put this one together and then we'll go back to the pear one that I started. That will give it time to dry. So I already have this stuff kind of prepped. All right, so I decided I love these two colors together. This is the new Timid Tiger, and I love it as an orange. It's warm, but it's not too bright. I just really like it, and I like it paired with a peach pie, which is what it is actually in these stripes. So I have already, and you don't have to do this part. The sample I copied from actually did have some embossing behind. I like that. You guys know I like texture. So like even this one, I used the waves. So you don't see a whole lot there, but sometimes it's kind of nice to have a little something on the inside. So I used this one, the dotted circles, because there's some dots right here. And I try to mimic the dots. And we're going to add some dots for my little dinosaur. I'm going to fold that in half. And then this I've already pre-cut to have, oh, nope, I didn't. I cut it wrong. Hold on, does this need to be bigger? Oh, hold on a second. That's the same size, right? Nope. I need to cut a little bit off this one. So we're going to cut off the bigger side. Oh yeah, because it's not 3 3/4. There we go. I was telling you the right thing, but I wasn't doing the right thing. So now let's see. There we go. So this has a skinny little border. You can make your borders whatever thickness that you want. Like this little glitter in there. A little unexpected. All right. So then this is going to go on top. You could raise it with dimensionals, especially because of all these bumps. Do I want to do that? I think I'm going to glue it down, but I'm going to use more glue than I normally would. Normally, I would use that much glue, but I'm going to add a little more glue. If Anne's watching, be proud of me. Just because this has so much texture, I want to make sure that it adheres. really, it's just going to adhere to those bumps, the raised bumps. All right. Yeah, because I think dimensionals will make it kind of wide. So now I have this cute little dinosaur, and I wasn't sure which color. So did I bring one? It's that this is it's just a fun one for kids. I mean, or adults too, but really it's kind of probably for kids. And it has tons and tons of dies that go with it. But I used my favorite stylish shapes for this one. So I think the zinnias ones that Jackie did, she had her words kind of, again, she had a big flower, but going like in this direction was kind of fun. So I could do it like that. I'm not sure which color I want to do. I could go like that. Mm, And I also have different gems. Nope, not those ones. I'll try not to make it. I don't want to use white. I'll try not to take too long. I think I might use. mm, Oh, I should have decided beforehand. Maybe we'll use. Let's put the gems on first, and then we'll pick. Feel free to let me know in the. I don't know if we should do glitter and glitter, green, pearls. That's not quite the right red. All right, guys, you need to help me out. These are my choices. You can even say white, peach, green for the words. And then for my gems, you can say pink, clear, or green as I clean up my little space to get ready for the next, to finish up the next card. I can't decide. All right. Bring this over. We're gonna cut this one. That's done. All right. Peach and pink. Peach and pink. All right. Yep, I got you, Tracy. All right, Tracy's the first one to put it on there. So, peach banner. Okay, you agree. Okay, perfect. All right, we're gonna use the peach. We'll save those for another card. And pink gems. All right. To my tweezers. I'm gonna put one there. I like to turn it around so I can see better. Like that. Oh, that's cute. All right, we'll use our dimensionals. Let's see. Thank you for your help. When I plan it, I feel like I can do it on camera, and then I hesitate. All right, I think put this on first, and then we'll have a little bit go underneath it. Dinosaur. You are terrific. And we'll have, there we go. That's straight. All right, and then the inside, I will just stamp happy birthday. I'll do that later. All right, so that's cute. So that's another version. Thank you for your help of that one. Cindy's just, oh, you just got from in and you put me on. Cindy, you're awesome. Thank you. This is the card, and for anyone else who came on, this is the first one that, well, I made it off of camera, but this is the style. And so we just kind of made this one, but this is one we still have to cut. So they're just 1/2 inch strips, and see how it's important to have that silicone mat because they stick. Or some of them stick. I just put 1/2 inch strips on and a chevron. And so what I think is helpful when we cut, I'm gonna get sticky. I could cut it upside down, but remember I talked about that cutting line would be in the wrong direction. So this is, let's measure, it's, yeah. Let's see if we do this right. I should only have to take off 1/8 of an inch. All that gets cut away. And then we're going to take off 1/4 inch. So this will be 5. I know I cut from the bottom on that one. I told you to cut from the top. All right, and then this I want to be 3 3/4. And now we have that straight top, so we're gonna work with it that way. And see how much just cleaner and nicer it looks? Actually, I kind of like, you can kind of see this is more up and down, and this is a little bit more kind of slanted. So that works nice. I noticed a couple of these aren't glued down, and that's an easy fix. We'll just add like a little dot of glue if you find that any that stick up. I think those are fine. And so now I already pre-cut. Let's see, did I cut it right? Yeah. I did Mossy Meadow. Actually, the Darling Duckling would look cute too. I think I have some right here. Let's see. We're gonna put it on beige. We could do, I'm gonna let you guys decide again. So we have the duckling, the Darling Duckling, or the Mossy Meadow. I'm gonna put a pear on top. That helps. In pieces right now. All right, so I'm gonna let you guys decide. So I get my machine out. The Darling Duckling or the Mossy Meadow. So we're gonna emboss. Mossy Meadow, Mossy Meadow. All right, you guys are in green. You guys are. Let me get rid of this color. It's a nice color, but not for today. I'm going to use my plaid embossing folder. Again, we don't have to emboss, but sometimes a little texture is nice. And what I'm going to do is, this is a regular card base. I know there's a spot there, but it's going to be covered up. I'm going to put it in. The score line goes right on the edge there. Close that. And so we'll get a little plaid on there. And then this one, I think it's a 3D. I didn't write it on there. See, that's why I like to write on my folders so I know what they are. I'll have to get my marker and write it on there. Just like I have my 3D on my plate there. All right. And it's just a nice little texture. We may or may not even notice it on the front. I see a little bit, but when you open it up, it's kind of a nice little surprise. All right. So I'm going to glue these two together. Thank you for voting. It helps me out making my decisions. If I was thinking of it, I would have done that Secret Sea blue. I think the Mossy's probably better, but I do love that Secret Sea color. All right, same thing with this one. There's some texture involved, so I'm going to put a little bit more glue. which I'm running out of, than I normally would, just to make sure it sticks. Put that on there. All right. So what I did, rather than stamp, I certainly could have stamped my pear and cut it out and colored it and everything. I used the paper. I was looking for that piece that I cut out. Oh, it's out of this piece. So the dies line up really nicely with the pear and the stem. And even these little pears line up. And even these pink flowers, those line up. I think that's all on there that lines up. So I already did that. So I have them here. Oh, there it is. So what I did was, because I cut the strips off that piece, I just kind of cut with scissors around it so I can still use, these are still viable to cut out. I didn't just want to cut straight, so I kind of cut around so to kind of conserve those pears. So we have the big pear. We'll probably use the big pear. Or you can do the little pear. It's cute too. I might put the little pear on the inside. I think I'll put the little pear on the inside, but the little one would look really nice there too. So I'm going to, and then this is the pink flowers. So we'll see. Do I want the flowers? I want to make sure you're going to see the flowers if I use them. Okay, I think we'll see them right there. And then these guys, I'm going to use dimensions. All right, let's see. Beth is asking, what is the mat you're using on your table? All right, so there could have been a couple different mats. I'll tell you everything I'm using on my table. If it was this one, this is called a silicone mat. And it's great. You can probably, I don't know if you can see, but there's like the shiny part is glue. And then you let it dry and then you can just rub it off. And so it's a nice way so when you're using glue, it doesn't stick to your paper. And the other thing is if you get glue on your fingers, just rub it directly on here and it will take the glue off your fingers. And you can do some other things with it too. So that's the silicone mat. I'll look to see if it's actually in the catalog. It's definitely online. And then this is grid paper. I don't know if that's what you meant. And the black is just a blotter that I got at IKEA. So hopefully one of those is what you wanted to know. All right, so I just cut a dimensional in half and I put it on each side of the leaf. I'm gonna put a little, just a tiny little glue there. That's gonna go like right there. The grid paper you can order online too. And sometimes they have fancy grid paper. This is, well, somewhat. They have some totally plain. This has a little patterns. And sometimes they have some with like the ink colors on it. And then this hello is from this set. Here it is. And again, it's kind of fancier script than I usually use. But there's two dies that will cut out the word. So I used that tiny one that did that hello. So I figured, I don't know if that's going to be, no, I think I can still use a dimensional. I didn't want it to be too thick. I will just cut an end here. So don't forget about that free shipping sale that starts tomorrow, especially if you like this whole suite. The whole suite comes with the paper, the stamp set and the dies, the gems that I'm going to use in a second, and the ribbon, which was, it's beautiful. Look at that. It's the golden mossy and olive ribbon. Um, I think that's all that was in the suite. All right. So I think, do we want one of each color? I think we do. All of the other cards, I did 3 of the same color. With the pink here and then the clear. I think on this one, I'm going to do one of each. How's that sound? And they are different. There's 3 different, no, there's 2 different sizes on this one, but I think I'll use the big ones. And they have like, it's not a solid color. They're they have some other colors in them. They're kind of cool. So I'm gonna put a blue one there. Again, now I have some glue stuck on those. So later on, I'm going to take my glue eraser and erase those. I'll take the green one. And the reason why I'm doing it this way versus this way is I think I can, for my eyes, I can see it better coming this way, just to try to even it out. All right. Oh, and we're going to put this in the inside. Thanks, Tracy. All right, because there are a lot of colors on this card. All right, so now there's a nice little hello card. Nothing hard. I mean, I actually had to cut the strips because I didn't have strips, but if you have strips, it's a little easier. I actually like the addition of the little flower, gives a little color on that back side instead of too much green. And then we can see the plaid on that side. So here are the 3 samples, all using that kind of chevron, that just 1/2 inch scraps. And then just kind of place them down. So nothing hard, but kind of fun. And it uses up your scrap paper because we all have it. I'm glad you liked it. Thank you. So let me put myself back on here because here we go. There's one other thing I wanted to talk about. So besides the free shipping that starts tomorrow, so Thursday, Friday, no, tomorrow's Wednesday. I'm all mixed up. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is the free shipping, $75 orders, saves you a bunch of money. But I planned this before I knew about the free shipping. So that's why I'm getting mixed up on the days. Oh, this one's heavy. So I have my mystery boxes. I talked about my email this morning and last week too. You can see I have 14 of them right there. They're all sealed, so now I don't know what's in any of them. This goes on sale on Thursday at 3 o'clock Eastern time. So let's see. So 3 o'clock Eastern, 2 o'clock Central, 1 o'clock Mountain, 12 o'clock Pacific, because I know everyone's from all different time zones. So it's everyone will get the access at the same time. And that shopping link will be sent in your email at that time on Thursday. It's already set up. But anyways, I did a little video and that was in my email this morning. I'll put it on the Facebook page and it's already on YouTube that you can see it, kind of an example of what's inside the boxes. But let's see if I can remember. There's at least 4 stamp sets and 2 of them or additional are bundles. There's a separate embossing folder. There's a separate set of dies. There's some patterned paper. Every box has a punch. Every box has 10 cards that I've made. I included cards. I don't have my piece of paper. What else is in there? There's at least a set. Most of them have 2 blends markers, like a pair. If it doesn't have 2, it has Stampin' Right markers. Some of them have ink pads, and if they do have ink pads, they have the re-inker. And what else? And then there's just kind of miscellaneous, like I know there's like an envelope punch board in one of them. There's some masks, like sponging masks and so there's a bunch of just stuff I used. Everything that was retired went, so I have nothing else that's retired at my disposal. So they're all in the boxes. So those go on sale on Thursday if you're interested. And as well as I have Stampin' Up! Event bags. I have so many bags. I've been to a lot of events, which I'm very lucky and fortunate, but each event you go to, you get a bag. So you only need so many. So I'm selling those 2. I just have 1 of each. Those will be in the same link on Thursday. Yeah, so I just wanted to, I didn't want to forget to tell you about those. So, thank you very much. I love you guys for being here, especially live and replay. Love it equally. But these are the cards that we made. I will post pictures of them. Um, so you can see, but you saw how easy they are to put together. And if you make some, put them on the very important paper crafters Facebook group so other people can see what you post to, or you might be able to post them in the comments under like some of my stuff. But that's why I created the VIP page, because you can post stuff there. And I'd love to see what you make too. So have a great week. And I will not make the sunflowers card next week because the embossing folder was still out of stock. So I'll come up with something else. But if you have an idea of what you want me to make, please send it to me. And gives me sometimes I need some ideas of what to make. All right. So thanks for watching. Thanks, Cindy, if you're going to start it again, and welcome home from your vacation. And I will see you guys all next week. Bye bye.